Welcome back, and we are going to get started on the next lesson in the OLS. So here we are in our class home. If you're not sure how to get here, um, when you log in, there's three things on the side. There's schedule, classes, and anyway, you'll click on the classes, and that will take you to all your classes. You'll pick your English class, and it will bring you here to my class homepage. Be sure to check out your calendar for the week. Be sure to read my weekly newsletter. This is actually in the newsletter where you'll find all these wonderful tutorial videos. All right, up here, also, don't forget, check your grades. Look for Monday morning zeros. All right, to get to your lesson, you're going to click on Content. Then we are working in Unit 2. We just finished up Lesson 4. We are now doing Lesson 5, Opposing Point. We are learning about persuasive essays. Gearing up, getting ready to write one, just so you know. These are all here to teach you how to write a persuasive essay. So let's go ahead and get started, always with the lesson introduction, and find that all-important study guide. The opposing point introduction. The opposing point. In this lesson, you'll get some tips on writing a thesis statement. A thesis statement is the sentence that states the main idea of an essay. You will also learn what goes into each part of a persuasive essay. Lastly, you will learn a useful strategy called conceding a point, which is sometimes used in persuasive essays. All right, and then we're going to scroll down here and be sure that we go to slide 2 because that's where our study guide is. And we're going to click on it and open it up. And it gives us our lesson objectives. It gives us some keywords and pronunciation. Concede a point, a strategy that a writer uses to acknowledge that an opposing point is reasonable, but not as strong as the position of the writer. Conceding a point, acknowledging that an opposing point is reasonable. Reason, a statement that explains why something is or why it should be. Thesis statement, the sentence that states the main idea of an essay. And we don't have any other materials in this one, but I'll go ahead and leave it open so that it's easy to access as we go through the lesson. So now that we are on slide 2, we are ready to move forward. And please do these along with me. Have yours opened up too, so that you can take notes right along with me. The opposing point 1, the point of it all. As you know, a thesis statement is the sentence that states the main idea of the essay. In a persuasive essay, a claim or thesis statement should clearly state the topic of your essay and define the approach you will take toward it. Read the two sentences. 1, people hurry here, hurry there, and never seem to slow down. 2, by hurrying all the time, people endanger their physical and mental health. Can you figure out which one is the better claim and why? Think about it. Which one do you think is better and why? All right, let's see if you're on the right path. The first sentence suggests that the topic is people in a hurry. The writer's attitude is unclear. It is the writer planning to provide that people are always hurrying. That seems unlikely, so this is not a good claim. The second sentence makes a clear claim or thesis statement. It tells the readers that the topic is people in a hurry. It also indicates that the writer's attitude toward the topic is too much hurrying is bad for you, and I'm going to prove it. Were you right? Let's move on to slide 2. Which thesis statement is stronger and clear? Okay, anytime you see any of these multiple choice things, be sure to open up a Word document. You want to do a blank one? And we're going to name this 2.05 review. Or start, yeah, and you might want to put ELA just so you know you're focusing on which class you're focusing on. Okay. And I'm going to hit number 1. And I'm going to go ahead and save this once I have a name. Save as. And I liked how they used to automatically put whatever you first typed in as what you were saving it as a possible name. But they don't really do that anymore. So we're going to put ELA 2.05 review. And you might want to put OLS lesson review, however your naming convention is. Get one started, stick with it. That's the main thing. And make a file that says 6th grade ELA. And then you can even have in that subfolders like OLS lessons, USA test prep, teacher graded assignments, whatever. That would be very handy. And we're just going to click save now for our purposes. Okay. And then I'm going to put number 1 so that I'm ready to copy and paste this into here. And I'm going to bring this down just a little bit. And then I'm going to highlight that, right click copy, or you can do Control C to copy. And then I'm going to go back here to my Word document. And you can do Control V, but I prefer in this situation to do the right click on my mouse and hit paste so that I can paste it just how I want it. I'm going to get rid of this number 2 because I want to put my answer here. So then I go back. Which thesis statement is stronger and clearer? A, many people in the community have never visited the historical museum. Or B, the historical museum would probably attract more visitors if it changed its schedule of operating hours. I'm going to intentionally pick the wrong answer just so you see what happens when you do that. And check your answer. Got it wrong. It tells me that this one is right. Incorrect. It's unlikely that there's no purpose here. You can always hit the keep trying, click on the right one, and then you get correct. The writer hopes to convince that the changing museum schedule would attract more visitors. The main thing here is the writer gives his opinion. So once you know the correct answer, hold on, what happened? Oh, pumpkin. I guess we're still recording. I heard something go off. I'm not sure what it was. Okay. Hopefully everything's cool. All right, you're going to click on this, right click, copy, go back to here and put the paste in. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to remove some cats. Give me 1 second. I'm going to pause this video. Okay, with kitty cat safely removed, we're going to continue on. So once you have the correct answer in there, I also like to put sometimes the reasoning or explanation. I don't like to use explanation in here just for if I put an EX, to me, that's an example. And that's not what we're doing here. We're doing the reasoning. So that's why I put the R for reasoning. But you do whatever you like. And then again, I'm going to put paste. And then we're going to backspace out. And I'm going to hit another space. I just like to put some space in there. And get ready for my second one. All right. Which thesis statement is stronger and clearer? A, people who get lost in the woods usually do so because they have ignored one of 6 basic safety rules. Or B, have you ever been lost in the woods? That's every hiker's nightmare. Which one is a stronger, clearer thesis statement? Pick your answer, check it. Once you know the correct answer, copy and paste the correct answer, the question, the correct answer, and possibly the reasoning into your review document. Pause this recording if you need to, and come back when you're ready. All right, slide 4. Which thesis statement is stronger and clearer? A, public sidewalks are among the many places that skateboarding is forbidden. Or B, much as skateboarders hate to hear this, there are good reasons for law against skating on public sidewalks. Which one has a stronger, clearer thesis statement? Click your answer, check it. Once you know the correct answer, copy and paste the question, correct answer, and possibly the reason to your review document. All right. Now that you've finished that, let's move on. We've done 4-4, so we're going up here to the top again to go to the next module, Module 3. Or Module 2, I'm sorry, Module 2. The opposing point 2, finding the hook. As you know, a good introduction should have a hook to capture readers' attention, and it should explain the purpose of the essay. In a persuasive essay, the statement that tells what the essay is about is a thesis statement. Excuse me. Its purpose is to explain what the writer plans to prove. So finding the hook. Which sentence is the best hook? Are you thinking of going out of town for vacation? I have a suggestion that will save you money and fuss. You can have a wonderful time this summer by pretending to be a tourist at home. All you need is a sense of fun and a willingness to try things that are out of the ordinary. Okay, so which one of these sentences do you think are the hook? Pause the video if you need more time to think. All right, let's check and see if you're on the right thinking. This very first sentence that has a question, are you thinking of going out of town for vacation? The hook, are you thinking of going out of town for vacation, makes readers wonder what kind of advice the essay has for them. It also defines the essay's audience as people who are planning a vacation. The other sentences are not as effective at getting the reader's attention. And we're going to move to slide 2. Now, in the same introduction, identify the claim or thesis statement. Okay, so we looked at the hook. The hook is not the thesis statement. The hook is what draws you in. Many times it can be a question that you pose at the beginning. Are you thinking of going out of town for a vacation? I have a suggestion that will save you money and fuss. You can have a wonderful time this summer by pretending to be a tourist at home. All you need is a sense of fun and a willingness to try things that are out of the ordinary. All right, let's see. Can you find the hook? I'm sorry, the thesis statement. Sorry. Can you find the thesis statement? Pause if you need to. Let's see if you're right. You can have a wonderful time this summer by pretending to be a tourist at home. This statement, you can have a wonderful time this summer by pretending to be a tourist at home, tells you that the writer's purpose is to convince readers that staying at home can be fun, which is all important during this kind of quarantining time. The end. The final paragraph of an essay is its conclusion. Usually, writers try to end persuasive essays with a thought-provoking statement or one that strongly repeats the thesis statement. New ideas or information should never be introduced in the conclusion of a persuasive essay. Don't put new information. You're summing up what you wrote. So do not introduce anything new in that last paragraph, your closing statement. Which paragraph provides a better conclusion? Select the buttons to know the answer. The next time you're planning a vacation, ask yourself, is it important to travel far from home to enjoy myself? Have I visited all the interesting attractions and museums close to home? Do I want to spend hours packing for a trip and more hours waiting around airports? Do I want to waste at least 2 days of my vacation going and coming? If your answer is no to all these questions, you probably are ready to follow the plan to become a tourist at home. Rushing around packing and getting to the airport will make you sick. When you're sick, you cannot enjoy your vacation. You will waste your money on tickets to places you won't be able to visit because you're sick. So the next vacation, plan to stay close to home. It may not be exciting, but at least you won't get sick. And if you do get sick, your doctor will be close by. So which paragraph provides the better conclusion? Paragraph A or paragraph B? Let's look and see what paragraph 1. Paragraph 1 is a stronger conclusion. All the sentences in the conclusion support the idea that readers will enjoy being tourists at home. Paragraph 2 does not have a conclusion as strong as paragraph 1. The writer brings in new and irrelevant material and the possibility of getting sick, which has little to do with becoming a tourist at home. All right, we are ready to move on to the next one, next module. Opposing point 3, supporting the claim. The body of an essay consists of all the text between the introduction and conclusion. In a persuasive essay, the body contains the evidence the writer gives to support the claim. The writer presents several reasons to support the argument. And reasons, remember, is a statement that explains why something is or why it should be. Each one is a separate paragraph. Each reason is stated in the topic sentence. The other sentences in each paragraph present the evidence that supports the main idea. As you may recall, Karen's thesis in A Cat is Not a Can of Soup is adopting a pet of the Ferndale shelter is often a wiser move than buying one. On the next screen is one of the body paragraphs from her essay. Notice that the paragraph begins with a reason for adopting a pet from the shelter. Then Karen gives evidence in support of this reason. Slide 2. Read the paragraph, then select the buttons to highlight the different parts of the paragraph. One of the most important reasons for adopting a pet from the shelter is that you are giving a home to an animal that will be much happier in a stable household. The volunteer's care is good, but it can't make up for the full attention of one owner. Animals, like people, need familiar surroundings and daily routines to feel comfortable. Even the shelter doesn't provide a consistent home. When the shelter gets too crowded, some of the confused animals have to be sent to temporary foster homes. All right, can you find the claims or sentences that support the claim? Take a moment, see if you can point those out. When you're ready, come back. All right, let's look. Let's look at the reason or topic sentence. Your topic sentence is usually, not always, but usually the first sentence of the paragraph. It's going to state what you're going to be talking about. It may also include the writer's opinion on that reason. One of the most important reasons for adopting a pet from the shelter is that you're giving a home to an animal that will be much happier in a stable household. Okay, so this is their point. Now we've got to find all the things that the writer uses to back this point up. Can you find them? What's the evidence or supporting details? Let's see if you're right. Pretty much everything else. The volunteer's care is good, but it's not as good as a full attention of an owner. That's one point. An animal, like people, needs familiar surroundings and daily routines to feel comfortable. That's point 2. Even the shelter doesn't provide a consistent home. When the shelter gets too crowded, they have to send some animals to temporary foster homes, which, as they said here, it confuses the animal. So those are 3 points that the writer uses to back up the point that adopting from a shelter is better because you're giving the animal a much happier and stable home. So when you're writing yours, please do the same. All right, we are ready to move on to the next module. I concede. Conceding a point is a strategy that writers sometimes use in persuasive essays. When writers concede a point, they acknowledge that an opposing opinion is reasonable. And that's just basically what it says there. You might be wondering why you would want to do that when you're trying to convince people that your viewpoint is correct. You do it so that your opponent will believe that you are a fair and reasonable person. For one thing, the opposing point might be a very important one. If you acknowledge it, you're saying that is a good point, but it's not strong enough to undercut my argument. If you ignore it, your reader may conclude the writer doesn't dare acknowledge that viewpoint because it will demolish the writer's argument. For another thing, you convince your reader that you are a reasonable person who can see the other viewpoint. Readers are more likely to believe you than they would if you showed yourself unwilling to consider other opinions. Slide 2. When you write a persuasive essay, proving your point. When you write a persuasive essay, you don't have to prove that all the evidence supports your opinion. You have to convince readers only that the majority of the important evidence supports your claim. The following excerpt from a persuasive essay shows how to concede a point without weakening your position. In which sentence does the writer acknowledge a good point that the opposition has made? So as I'm reading this, look for where the author concedes that another point might be a good point. But watch, they're not going to just say that, they're going to say something like, well, that's a good point. I believe my stance is better because. So look for something like that. The question of how to use the special funds is not easy to answer. As Mayor Dean has told us, the downtown area does need to be spruced up, and doing so might encourage more tourists to come, which would certainly help our economy. Nevertheless, I think the funds could be better used to restore the parks rather than sprucing up downtown. After all, the beauty of our natural landscapes provides more pleasure to residents than the beauty of our buildings. All right. Did you find where the author conceded to a point, but then backed up? Let's see. As Mayor Dean has told us, the downtown area does need to be spruced up, and doing so might encourage more tourists to come, which certainly would help our economy. The writer has conceded a point by acknowledging that the mayor has a good point because more tourists would help the community. But then see where it says nevertheless? That's where he's going. But even so, it would be better to use the money to restore parks rather than sprucing up the downtown. It goes back to, but even with that being said, I still feel that this is a better, my point of view is better because. All right, let's go to slide 3. Responding to opposition. After writers concede a point, they want to state why their own position is still preferable. In the following excerpt in which the sentence does the author do this? The question of how to use the special funds is not an easy answer. As Mayor Dean has told us, the downtown area does need to be spruced up, and doing so might encourage more tourists to come, which would certainly help our community. Nevertheless, I think the funds could better be used to restore the parks rather than sprucing up downtown. After all, the beauty of our natural landscapes provide more pleasure to residents than the beauty of our buildings. All right, again, we just talked about this one. Again, you want to come back. You want to, even though you conceded that, yes, this is a good point, you want to come back and say, but my point is better because, and usually you'll start off with however. Nonetheless, with that said, I still believe, blah, 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 blah. Okay? You're going to say, however, I think, or I believe, I feel, whatever it is. So please do that when you do your persuasive writing. I know y'all are good persuaders out there. I know y'all ask your parents for stuff from now and then, and you have to make your point on why they should feel the way you feel. That's just all you're doing in a persuasive essay. Using transitions. In the previous example, the writer concedes the point and then quickly follows it with an opposing viewpoint. When you're writing your own persuasive essay, try this strategy. If there is a strong argument that contradicts your thesis. In addition, transitions can be very effective to help the audience recognize your viewpoint. The following are some transitional words and phrases that emphasize the writer's viewpoint when conceding a point. However, but, in spite of that, on the other hand, nevertheless, all the same, even so, yet. So use all of those when you're conceding a point, but then you're going to bring them back to say yours is better. So I expect to see those in your writing as well. Jot them down if you haven't. Oh, let me go back for a second. Hold on. Let me go back. I would. Oh, is it gonna let me? Hold on. I'm sorry. It's really slow. Okay. Oh, let me go back to 4. I would copy and paste these words. The following from right here. I would copy and paste that into your review document. So right-click copy, then go to your review document and left-click paste. So copy, bring your document back up, and I'm going to skip down some because this isn't going to necessarily have a number. It's just, you might want to put out to the side tip. Tip. And then post it. Okay? I think that's great. And now I'll remind you of good things to do when you do your writing. Okay, I know that took a little bit of time, but I think it was important to do. Module 5, counterclaims and refutations. Acknowledging counterclaims and refutations can be a very effective way to convince your reader of your credibility. Remember, part of the job of persuasive writers is to convince readers that their point of view is correct and that the opposing point of view is incorrect. Explore how President Obama uses counterclaims and refutations in his back-to-school speech. It starts, obviously, with being the best student you can be. Now, that doesn't mean you have to be Now, that doesn't mean that you have to have a perfect score. This sentence here, the president acknowledges a possible opposing point of view. I'm not a perfect student, he tells students that being successful is more about working hard than getting straight A's. By acknowledging possible counterclaims immediately, he establishes trust with the audience. On every assignment, it doesn't mean that you've got to get straight A's all the time, although that's not a bad goal to have. It means that you have to stay at it. Now, ethics is about right and wrong, but if you ask me what my favorite subject was back in 8th grade, it was basketball. I don't think ethics would have made it on the list. But here's the interesting thing. I still remember that ethics class all these years later. I remember the way it made me think. Here is another section of the speech where the president acknowledges the opposition and answers it. He makes a connection with his audience by stating that there were subjects he had to take in school that he didn't like. But he refutes the idea that those subjects were unnecessary by stating that he still remembers them. Again, this sets up a level of trust with the audience. Slide 2. Identify counterclaims and refutations. Examine the arguments presented in President Obama's back-to-school speech. Then answer the questions. Number 1, how does the president refute the argument that students don't connect with classes that bore them? Could you remember? Pull that speech back up if you need to. From the last lesson, that was 2.03, where we read that one. All right, let's look at the answer. The president states, but if I had just turned out because the class sounded boring, I might have missed out on something that not only did I turn out enjoying, but has ended up serving me in good stead for the rest of my life. Number 2, how does the president counter the potential argument that students only need a high school diploma? Look back at that essay, see if you can find them. I'll wait. All right, did you find them? Let's look and see. The president states, but the fact of the matter is that more than 60% of jobs in the next decade will require more than a high school diploma. More than 60%. Did you find it? Number 3, in his speech, the president states, I was not always the very best student that I could be when I was in high school, and certainly not when I was in middle school. I did not love every class I took. I wasn't always paying attention the way I should have. Which argument do you think he is acknowledging here? Think about it for a minute. Pause the video. All right, let's check and see if your thinking is on the right track. The president is acknowledging that not everyone loves school. By telling the audience his personal history, he acknowledges that they may not believe school is important at this stage in their lives. Slide 3. Using counterclaims to develop an argument. In President Obama's back-to-school speech, he does an effective job of using counterclaims and refutations to help develop the ideas in his speech. Slide 4. Okay, the opposing point, we have a reason. It is important to be successful in school. We'll have to find the counterclaim for that. And the concession or refutation is now that doesn't always mean that you have to have a perfect score on every assignment. On this one, oh, that tells you the answer. Ooh. Not everyone can get straight A's. Okay, we're not going to do that. Oh, so okay, so what does this button do? Oh, that lets you download it. That is super cool. Okay, we learned something new today, didn't we? Let me see what's going to happen. Okay, so it puts it out there for you. Okay, it gives you all the answers. So don't do that till after you try this. So while you have the essay, Obama's speech, up, all right, so now we have to find the reason. The counterclaim is some classes are boring and unimportant. And the concession or refutation is, but if I had just turned out because the class sounded boring, I might have missed out on something. Can you find what the reason is that he's arguing? Pause the video, come back when you think you found it. All right, let's check and see. School is important to a person, so that is the point or the reason that he's making. His counterclaim is some classes are boring and unimportant, but here's the concession or refutation where he says, but still, there's the but. And see how he has now, but if I just turned out because of the classes sounded boring, I might have missed out on something. All right, last one. The reason students need to continue their education after high school. The counterclaim. A high school diploma is enough education for a successful future career. All right, let's see if you can look back and find the concession or counterclaim. Remember these words like now, but, however. See if you can find it. Pause the video. When you found it, come back. All right, let's look and check and see if you found it. More than 60% of the jobs in the next decade will require more than a high school diploma. How did y'all do on finding those? Did you do well? Maybe you need to come to Help Lab and get some help on that. If you do, come see me. We're ready for slide 5. Let's review some of the important elements in developing a persuasive argument. Okay, again, we've got these multiple choice questions. Beep, beep, beep. We need to have our review document ready to go to post into. Okay. What is the purpose of having a strong claim or thesis statement in a persuasive essay? A, to answer any potential opposing viewpoints. B, to provide evidence for your reasons and support of your claim. C, to clearly state the topic and define the approach you will take toward it. Choose your answer. Check it. When you know the correct answer, copy and paste the question and correct answer into your review document. You may pause the video and come back when you've completed that. You may also want to include the reason for it. Come back when you're ready to move on. All right, now we are ready for question 2. In the introductory paragraph of a persuasive essay, what is the purpose of the hook? A, to capture the reader's attention. B, to state the author's point of view. C, to review the material presented in the essay. Choose your answer. Check your answer. Copy and paste the question, the correct answer, and possibly the reason for the correct answer in your review document. You may pause the video and come back when you're ready. All right, now let's move on to question 3. What should you never include in the conclusion of a persuasive essay? A, review of the thesis statement. B, new ideas and information. Or C, a thought-provoking statement. Click on your answer. Check it. Once you know the correct answer, copy and paste the question, correct answer, and possibly the reasoning in your review document. Come back when you've completed that. Now let's move on to question 4. What is the term for ideas that support the claim in a persuasive essay? A, concessions, B, counterclaims, or C, reasons? Choose your answer. Check it. Once you know the correct answer, copy and paste the question, correct answer, and possibly the reason into your review document. Pause the video and come back when you are ready. All right, let's move on to question 5. Why would an author of a persuasive essay concede an opposing point of view? A, to introduce the author's main argument and provide support for his claim. B, to convince readers that the author is a reasonable person who can see the other viewpoint. Or C, to allow the reader the opportunity to make up his or her own mind about the subject. Click your answer. Check it. Once you know the correct answer, copy and paste the question, correct answer, and possibly the reason into your review document. Come back when you're ready. All right, now we are ready to move on to Module 6. All or nothing, more practice with Greek and Latin roots. How well do you know the Greek and Latin roots you've studied? Use a thesaurus and your knowledge of Latin and Greek roots to complete the activity. Select true or false. The Greek root pan means all. True or false? Once you know the correct answer, copy and paste the question and correct answer, possibly the reason, into your review document. Come back when you're ready. Question 2. Select true or false. The Latin root omnis means many. True or false? Select your answer. Check it. Once you know the correct answer, copy and paste the question and correct answer and possible reason into your review document. Pause the video if you need to. All right, now question number 3. Select true or false. The Latin root claudo means total. A, true, B, false. Select your answer. Check it. Once you know the correct answer, copy and paste the question, correct answer, and possible reason, possibly the reason, into your review document. Pause the video if you need to. All right, question 4. Select true or false. The Greek root holos means whole. A, true, B, false. Select your answer. Check it. Copy and paste the question, correct answer, and possibly the reason into your review document. Come back when you're ready. All right, next question. Select true or false. The root of omnibus is omnius. The root of omnibus is omnis. True or false? Select your answer. Check it. Once you know the correct answer, copy and paste the question, correct answer, and possibly the reason behind it into your review document. Come back when you're ready. Next question. Select true or false. Cloister means a covered walk inside the walls of a building. A, true, B, false. Select your answer. Check it. Once you know the correct answer, copy and paste the question, correct answer, and possibly the reason behind the correct answer in your review document. Next question. Select true or false. Holocaust means to eat everything. A, true, B, false. Select your answer. Check it. Once you know the correct answer, copy and paste the question, correct answer, and possibly the reason behind it into your review document. Next question. Select true or false. Holocaust means a great destruction. True or false? Select your answer. Check it. Once you know the correct answer, copy and paste the question and correct answer and possibly the reasoning behind the correct answer into your review document. Next question. Select true or false. Holistic means to close out. True or false? Select your answer. Check it. Once you know the correct answer, be sure to copy and paste the question, answer, and possibly the reason behind the answer into your review document. Last Last question. Select true or false. Preclude means to prevent. True or false? Select your answer. Check it. Copy and paste the question, correct answer, and the reasoning behind the correct answer into your review document. Now we're ready for slide 2. Review words from Greek and Latin roots. Now it's your turn to show your mastery of using words from Greek and Latin roots. What is the definition of the word pandemonium? Try not to use a dictionary on this. Try to use your knowledge of Greek and Latin roots. A total uproar. B, silence. C, a party. Or D, a set of scales. Check your answer. Oh, sorry. Pick your answer. Check your answer. Once you know the correct answer, copy and paste the question, correct answer, and possibly the reason behind it into your review document. Question 2. What is the meaning of the Greek root holos? A, whole. B, all. C, to close. Or D, nothing. Choose your answer. Check your answer. Once you know the correct answer, copy and paste the question and correct answer and possibly the reason into your review document. Question number 3. What is the meaning of the Latin root claudo? A, whole. B, to close. C, all. Or D, nothing. Choose your answer. Check your answer. Once you know the correct answer, copy and paste the question and correct answer, as well as possibly the reason for the correctness of the answer into your review document. Question number 3. What is the definition of the word panacea? A cure-all. B, bread. C, medicine. Or D, crusty. Click on your answer. Check your answer. Once you've found the correct answer, copy and paste the question, correct answer, and the reason behind the answer into your review document. Next question. What is the root of the word holistic? A, whole. B, holos. C, list. Or D, listos. Click on your answer. Check your answer. Once you know the correct answer, copy and paste the question, correct answer, and possibly the reason in your review document. Next question. What is the meaning of the word recluse? A person who avoids others. B, a person who is wise. C, a person who seeks the company of others. Or D, a person who is sociable and friendly. Pick your answer. Check your answer. Once you know the correct answer, copy and paste the question, correct answer, and possibly the reasoning in your review document. Which word comes from the root omnis, meaning all-knowing? A, omnivorous. B, omnivore. C, omnipresent. Or D, omniscient. Click your answer. Check your answer. Once you know the correct answer, copy and paste the question, correct answer, and the reasoning in your review document. Now you're ready for the last question. Which word means devouring anything, especially intellectually? A, ravenous. B, studious. C, academic. Or D, omnivorous. Click your answer. Check your answer. Once you know the correct answer, copy and paste the question, correct answer, and the reasoning in your review document. Once you've got all of those down, you are ready to move on to Module 7. The power to persuade. Persuasive essays are used to sway an audience to an author's point of view. Persuasive essays can follow a wide variety of topics and ideas. However, the author's connection to the subject can make a big difference in how the essay is perceived. Every persuasive essay includes certain structural characteristics. These are the thesis statement and introduction, the body paragraph, and a conclusion. An author can add support for his or her argument by including counterclaims and refutation in the body of the paper. Okay, I said body paragraph here. It's just body because remember, for each point that you're going to make, it's going to get its own paragraph. What is the meaning of the term concede a point? Do you remember? Let's check and see. When authors concede a point, they acknowledge that an opposing opinion is reasonable. Crafting a strong persuasive essay requires close attention to both your argument and your structure. If each element of the essay is strong in its own right, the essay should be effective in persuading your reader. All right. And we are done with this lesson. Be sure that you save that review document. Have it pulled up when you take the let's see the 2.6 quiz. Gather your information. Okay. We're not on 206 yet. No, that was 205. We're ready for 206. Gathering your information. That's what we'll be doing next. So I hope you'll join me back here for that lesson. I hope you found this lesson to be helpful. And if you need anything or you struggled with this, please come see me in Help Lab or send me an email at ljordan@tvahallsville.org or call me and leave a message or text at 254-307-0033. Thank you and have a great day.